Thank you so much for joining in, guys, and welcome to this new season of Xobin Talks. I have today with me Andre, who is heading Bread and Beyond. Andre is an expert in employer branding, and today we're going to talk about a lot about employer branding, videos in employer branding, and a lot more. So, Andre, welcome to Xobin Talks. How are you doing?
I'm good, Amrit. Thank you for having me here.
So Andre, let's just get started with a bit of introduction from your side. What did you do before? How did you end up at Bread and Beyond? And how do you help companies?
Okay, sure. Thank you. I founded Bread and Beyond back in 2008. Before that, I was a general contractor. I helped build factories, warehouses, and so on because my major is architecture.
Okay.
And in 2008, I decided to start a company, my own company, and that's where Bread and Beyond started. We started as a graphic design agency, and then in 2009 we started getting video brandings as one of our service because back then there is this one employer that is really great with us. He asked if we can do this kind of video for him, and then we get started on that. And in 2012, we evolved into a full animation agency, and that's where we are right now.
Awesome, awesome. So the way I see it, you've built a company. You've also helped other brands as well. So
Yes.
what, according to you, is employer branding? How would you define it?
Okay. I would say that employer branding is focusing on creating and promoting a company's identity and reputation as an employer. An employer doesn't have to be a company. It can be a person, individual, professionals. And the branding of the employer is what employees, potential employees, future employees will see you as the employer. Very strict and meticulous, like most of the, I would say, lawyers or accountant, maybe Ernst and Young, or other brand that it can be research basis if you are at universities and so on.
That's interesting. You mentioned identity, and that's very difficult for any company to really define that. Okay, this is who we are.
Mhm.
Uh, but again, since you've worked with so many companies,
Mhm.
you would have definitely seen some companies who are doing exceedingly well with respect to their employer branding.
Yes.
Someone that you look up to. So, in your mind, what are the companies which really get it, which really get employer branding and do it well? If you could help our audience in understanding some of these companies, and also why do you specifically think that these companies are doing great with their employer branding?
Okay, thank you. So, right now I'm based in Indonesia, and as I know, Google is one of the company that already done this, and they are really good at defining their culture. They are really good at defining who they are on the employee's mind. So when you get offered a job at Google, most likely someone will um, not think twice
Mhm.
because it's like the um, workplace where the culture is right for them, where everything is justified as long as what you want is the same as what they want.
Mhm.
That's what I think about Google, because I would say they're the kind of company that already get this correct.
Mhm. Mhm. Any other companies that come in your mind which do
Hmm,
great work in terms of employer branding?
Other than that, I think Apple.
Okay, I think that's great. I mean, if you would ask anyone, I mean, they would say that, yeah, these are aspirational brands, and any company would probably aspire to be a Google or an Apple.
Yes, the next
Getting
Google, the next Apple.
next Google or next Apple, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But getting slightly more into the specifics of employer branding,
Hmm.
it's a new topic. I mean, I don't think people heard about employer branding 15, 20 years ago. It's a slightly new phenomena where companies today are focusing on employer branding. What kind of metrics do you think uh, can an HR manager show to the management, to their senior management, and say that, okay, this is what I will do to improve employer branding? What kind
Okay.
of clear metrics can an HR manager who is taking care of employer branding say that, okay, you have entrusted me with the responsibility of improving our company's employer brand. These are the metrics that I am going to measure and I am going to improve.
First of all, I would say employee satisfaction, because this can be easily measured by surveys or feedback sessions or 360 degrees feedback. And with measuring employee satisfaction, we can see what the culture looks like in a company environment. And overall experience, the employee satisfaction can also be a good indicator that the employer branding is having a positive impact.
Okay. Any other metrics that come to your mind?
Other than that, I would say employee retention. If the employees that works there doesn't stay for more than 2-3 years at a time, then probably that's an indicator of a gap between the branding that is expected and the branding that is already been created in the culture of the company itself. If your company is having a high turnover rates, that can be a sign that the employees are not satisfied with the work environment. Other than retention, I would say the amount of candidates and the quality of the new candidates, potential employees. Because if there are less people that would like to work in the company, then either something is not right with the branding, or the industry itself is lagging. It can be because of the changes in the industry. It can be with economic or political issues that is already there. But yeah, mostly it's about employer branding. If the other things in the industry is stable.
If the other things in the industry are stable, but still the applicants, so the number of applicants that a company is receiving is less, then
Less.
there's something which is not right in terms of the employer brand.
Yes, because those are the factors that will affect how many candidates is going to the company, right?
True.
If not in the industry, then is the branding itself, or perhaps the competition are offering more sign-up bonuses
Yeah.
or anything else. Yeah.
So you're also, I mean, your company is an expert in creating videos for these brands,
Right.
animation videos, graphic videos. Your company is an expert in that. How do videos fit into improving employer branding?
So when we are creating video for our clients, what we are doing is to improve their overall branding. It can be on the marketing side, it can be on the hiring side. On the marketing side, it's kind of easy to understand, because if the marketing campaign is created to be fun or for healthy or for technicals, that is something that easily seen. But for on the employee side, for employer branding, it can be quite difficult, because you have to employ a really specific campaign to create the whole basic culture of the company itself. For example, when you are saying that your company is fun, right? Then you have to create all the training videos with the same branding, with the same perspective that is perceived as fun from the employee side. Either it's the color or the wording that is used, or it can also be from the characters that is being used inside the video. It cannot be just like normal people. It might be something entirely different, can be shapes, can be aliens, can be fun things. So people, potential employees will see the brand itself as fun.
Interesting.
But you cannot do that with only just one video. It has to be a continuous campaign throughout years, sometimes.
Okay. So what you're saying is that videos are helpful in terms of branding. You also use it for training and development, not just for prospective video or hiring video, but also once someone is onboarded, those onboarding videos, training videos, even they need to have the right kind of messaging and branding.
Yes, and this is done by design.
Okay.
The employer branding is done by design. It's not just coincidence. So, for example, there is this one client that I cannot mention the brand, but they asked us to produce a series of videos back in the days where not a lot of people are using LinkedIn. So the way they are creating the video script is very specific. So they want their employees to use LinkedIn in a specific way to indicate how they're working in the company's environment and why they should use LinkedIn. Because as we know, technology is quite differently accepted by different age. Younger people tends to receive technology with an open mind, but more senior people, older people, sometimes are a bit more skeptical. So that's why they have to educate their current employees and future candidates on these specifics. So that's how they're using video for that specific purpose, to train their employees on how to use LinkedIn, how to publish posts, contents on LinkedIn to shine specific light to the company.
That's an interesting point, I think. I'd also want to understand from you.
Sure.
You mentioned that you yourself came from a traditional background like architecture, and you've now gone into creating videos. Let's assume that a CEO of a traditional company wakes up one morning and finally realizes that, okay, we need to improve the employer branding of our company. Now, what kind of a budget should companies typically keep in order to boost employer branding? we all know that HR is a cost function. So everything at the end of the day, whether we like it or not, it's called a cost function. Uh, Everything comes down to pricing, especially in these areas.
Mhm.
So, what kind of a budget should the HR team keep aside for employer branding?
I would say that it depends on the industry of the company itself. Some company is really tough at hiring people because it might be because the industry is already old. People already not that interested to work on that industry anymore, or uh, perhaps the turnover is higher. Most of the industry that relies on offline sales usually have a higher turnover. But I would say, if you want to do employer branding right, I think you have to spend at least 10% of your hiring budget, depending on how much you are going to spend on your hiring budget. 10 to, I would say, around 35 or 40%.
Okay, 10 to 40% of the hiring budget
Yes,
on employer branding.
yes, I
That's
understand that's a large range,
yeah,
but it really depends on the industry.
got it, got it. I think that's it's at least a good ballpark for companies to start, and then on a case by case basis they could decide whether that budget works for them or not.
Mm,
Uh, Now, you also do a lot of video for recruitment marketing as well.
yes.
Uh, have you seen any videos that you feel have really gone viral, and you feel that, oh shit, I should have created that video myself?
I would say a lot because when we are doing this, we have to spend like 10% of our time every week to take a look at the current video trends. So we are staying in the right touch with the market, what the market wants, what the market likes. So I see a lot of really interesting viral videos from micro influencer, mini influencer, even from big Super Bowl ads as well.
That's great. And where do you think the future of employer marketing is? I know this is a slightly tricky question, but every decade we have a new type of social media which is coming about.
Mhm.
There was Facebook, and then LinkedIn, and now there are these micro platforms like TikTok and Twitter. Uh, should, in your opinion,
Mhm.
should employer branding be different on different channels? Like, I'll do a different type of a video catering to Twitter, catering to Reddit or TikTok, versus a different kind of a video for LinkedIn? Or do you think that the kind of videos are more or less same? It's just these are different channels. Just post it.
Okay. I would say it really depends on the company branding itself. Um, for one thing, what I believe is that recruitment or hiring is the opposite direction of marketing. It's
Okay.
um, two sides of the same coin because the coin itself is your company. The other one is client facing side. The other one is the employee side because your employee is your greatest assets, right? When you are looking for clients, you want to fish in the right pond.
Mhm.
When you are fishing for the right employees, you also want to fish on the right pond. Once you found the right pond, then it's should be quite easy for you to get more employees or good employees because usually good employees attract each other. If you have the right culture, they will attract each other. They will attract anyone with same mind.
True. True. Thank you, Andre. Thank you so much for your time. I think this was really interesting to learn from you about employer branding and how you help other organizations. I hope that this content was useful for our entire audience. And thank you so much for attending. And stay tuned for the next Xobin Talks. See you soon.